Good.
Here we go.
Okay. All right, so we're all here this evening. It's Monday, February 2nd, 2026. At 6 p.m. We're together rather here this evening at Cole Hall in Shaftsbury, Vermont. Present, we have Tony Krulikowski, Brad Peacock, Naomi Miller, Mike Chianowski. So consider it called to order, and me, Zoe Conscious Girl. At this time, do any of you have a conflict of interest with anything on the agenda this evening?
No.
Okay, hearing none, we'll move to item 3, which is review of minutes.
I have 2 sets.
2 sets? Okay, so we're looking at January 20th, and then what's the other date?
The dog hearing.
The dog hearing. Okay. Did you all have a chance to take a look at these as emailed? Okay, so we'll take a quick look in person as well. So, and then I'll pass around the vicious dog hearing minutes. Here's the other set that will be, and I think okay, and there's one more. So let's turn first to the meeting minutes for the January 13th, 2026 special select board meeting, which was held, it was a vicious dog hearing, about which we have an update, which will come in the announcements section of the meeting. Let me take a quick look. I looked via email too, but oh, and I also reviewed these with you before, too. Okay, I have no amendments, for sure.
I have no amendment.
No? Okay, I'd call for a motion to approve these minutes as they
So
are.
moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Abstain. So that's 3-2. Okay. Let's take a look at the meeting minutes for January 20th, 26 now. Also reviewed these. So Mike and Tony. And I reviewed these in advance as well and don't have any amendments. Do you all?
None for me.
No, okay. I'd call for a motion to approve these meeting minutes from January 20th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Second, okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And then 2 abstentions, right? Yep, okay. All right, so moving right along. Oh, yeah, I have to sign it also. Do I have multiple copies? Announcements and updates. Okay, so I had one announcement with regard to the vicious dog hearing. It's a brief announcement, which is that the owner of the dog in question has appealed to the Vermont Supreme Court at this time. And so now that is in their hands. We're in touch with the Vermont Supreme Court. It's a civil appeal, normal process, as well as our town attorney, just to see, and our animal control officer, just to kind of understand what the next steps are for Shaftsbury, depending on how they decide. And this is, once again, well, this doesn't happen too often, so we're figuring it all out. So that's the announcement I have for that one. Then I have one other announcement with regards to the town budget. There was published in the Bennington Banner, as well as the Shaftsbury Revitalization Digest, a statement that the town budget is not voted on the floor in Shaftsbury. It is voted on the floor in Shaftsbury and has been historically. It was just a mistake that was made by the reporter. He was contacted. He has issued a correction, and he has updated the article online, and any other mention throughout the article that referred to the vote taking place on Australian ballot. And I have not spoken yet to the Shaftsbury Revitalization Digest, but we can reach out and ask them to please just send a follow-up. It's on the floor. All right. That's where we vote for it. Those are my announcements. You don't have any? Okay. All right. So 5, warrants, my favorite part.
We got 3.
All those numbers.
Numbers.
Okay.
Just don't try to add them.
It does that. I'd call for a motion to consider check warrant report 26018. in the amount of $98,131.90.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. So we will talk later. It's not going to happen tonight because I didn't put it on the agenda again, but about changing the threshold for these items because so many over $1,000 because the economic climate has changed so significantly since the time that we began these reviews. I will read the ones over 1,000 as well as several that are smaller because, as many know, fraud usually takes place in minutia as opposed to amounts over $1,000. Okay. Paula.
Yes.
GA Bow Fuels, $1,463.80.
Fire department hose.
GA Bow Fuels, $1,618.25.
Fire department heating fuel.
Chapel Tractor Sales Incorporated, $1,176.95.
That is DPW machinery and equipment.
Eastern Salt Company Incorporated, $7,948.71.
It's a lot of salt.
A lot of salt. And then we have another one for $2,721.38, also to Eastern Salt Company, also salt.
Even more salt.
Salt. Okay. Moving down the list. Let's do one that's small. Four States Enterprise, $62.95.
DPW parts for truck 1 and truck 2.
Great. Green Mountain Power, $1,116.70.
Shaftesbury Village traffic light.
Traffic light.
Wow.
Oh, yes.
It's costly.
Oh, yes.
That's wild. We should, well, I have thoughts on that later.
Well, based on the price, I mean, the invoice summary.
Okay, let's do Hewlett Electric and Father, $2,993.19.
New building, electric work.
Great, and that's out of the ARPA funds that were voted upon as opposed to
Yeah, budget, right.
Kimball Midwest, $8,846.95.
Yep, these are for equipment and parts, and this is all taken out of the DPW reserve fund.
Understood, that's great. Northeast Municipal LLC, $75.
Machinery and equipment, plows and sanders, some tree removal, DPW.
Peckham,
Miscellaneous.
okay, Peckham Industries, it's not my phone. $13,358.26.
Sand,
Sand. Peckham Industries, $11,781.88.
sand.
When people ask where the money goes, Primo Brands, $66.46.
The water cooler at the DPW garage.
Suburban Propane, $1,389.26.
That's propane for the new building.
Sycamore Landscaping, two invoices, invoice number 117 and 118, the first in the amount of $3,208.
Cemetery, and the other one is offices. For
Second one
maintenance
is-
and snow removal.
All right, so the second one is, the other one is for $1,600. Tri-County, $2,200.
The sidewalk machine, machinery and parts, DPW.
Sidewalk machine, sidewalk tractor. There's a great video about that. VLCT Property and Casualty,
That's our quarter 1 insurance payment to passive insurance.
$21,851.80, which also makes me understand a little bit more why this number is so high. Tom Wandry? $1,259.99, and also $74.99.
Yep, machinery and equipment, DPW.
Great. Okay. Call for,
Traffic light. Go back to the traffic light. We studied it.
yeah, like,
No, these Green Mountain ones,
so there was a rate change, and it is more expensive
yeah, but no, there's-
already
I have a
for
phone
everyone.
call into them because we sent them a payment, they lost the check,
Oh,
so we canceled the check. Or we stopped payment and then we repaid them, and then they found the check. So tomorrow is going to be the, where's the credit,
oh, wow, yeah.
ongoing.
Huh,
But that one,
what was that?
Yeah, what is the period of that? I don't feel like I
Well,
always see
looking at it, I'm
$1,000 for
thinking
this
it's-
traffic light.
It's gotta be.
It's
like
gotta
a
be.
really-
It's particularly unfortunate because so many people don't even see the traffic.
Right.
Yes, traffic light.
Drive through it.
Someone had to
every
explain to me
day
that
and know it exists.
that qualifies as a traffic light.
here it is. Yep, it's right here. 1960 GMP lighted LED, $16.06 light for, all the details are here.
Okay,
So,
let's chat about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
But yeah, we have to have that, so.
Village municipal lighting.
Huh.
Oh, it's the light, okay, we'll talk about it more.
And it was this, but we already paid it last month, and so this is 1 month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah.
And it's a blinking.
Yeah.
Yes, we're all
Also
gonna
darker
see
longer.
rate increases every
Might have
year for the rest of our lives. This is the cheapest electricity you'll ever have.
Good
Hottest,
to look.
coldest summer of the rest of your life. Okay, I'd call for a motion to approve this check warrant.
So warranted, so moved. So warranted. I think it's warranted to approve this.
All right, and you seconded? All in favor? Aye. Great. We're gonna talk more about that, but that's wild.
Yes.
Well, I've called them, I mean, I have a call into them, so I'll
Yeah,
add that to it.
I speak with them often as well, so.
Yeah.
And then we have a payroll warrant, is this correct?
Yep. You want me to?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'd call for a motion to consider check warrant report PR 16 in the amount of $24,738.97.
There you go.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I myself don't have any questions.
No.
Okay. Call for a motion to approve.
Aye.
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 Yeah, sorry. Thank you. Okay, that's it for warrants, correct?
Nope, there's one more.
All right.
This one has miscellaneous payroll things like the HRA and VEMR's and retirement and
Benefits, et cetera.
taxes.
Call for a motion to consider check warrant report PRW 07 in the amount of $39,907.82. Please keep in mind, actually, yeah, so someone move.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Perfect. Please keep in mind in consideration that the employer expense portion of this $39,970.82 is $14,416.06, which is to say that the large majority of this is pulled from paychecks. Call for a motion to approve,
Oh,
or
we
we
already did
just
that.
vote it, so, okay.
All in fa- any
All in
questions?
favor. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay. So we'll move on now to public comments.
I have a public comment. Hi, Andrea Baki here. You were speaking about the Shaftsbury Revitalization Digest earlier, Zoe. I'm the author of that digest, and I just wanted to say that whatever is in that is public knowledge from the website, the Town of Shaftsbury website. So if there was a mistake that was pulled from the website, so I would love to talk with you more about what that was, but just want you to know that
I think that-
I
okay.
do pull the information from there. So if there was a mistake made on the website, that's why that happened.
That would be interesting. I think we only have the town meeting warning on the website with regards to that at
Yes.
this time, and I don't think that
Yeah.
okay.
Is that what you're referring to? Because that's all that I have in there.
It was forwarded to me by someone else. I don't receive the digest, but we can touch base on it.
Yeah, let's do that because I think there's a misunderstanding on something. I'm not really sure
Okay.
what you're referring to, other than any information that I put in there does come from the website itself.
Okay, great. Good to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So moving forward, public comments. Yes? Would you like to join us?
I can come up if you like.
Yeah, we usually do that for everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Representative David Durfee, and I apologize for not reaching out to Paula earlier and maybe could have gotten on the agenda, but
All good.
I thought it might be helpful to come in and give you just a quick update on the PFAS situation at the state level. And you may remember that back in the fall, there was a forum held here, and we had earlier last spring, not quite 12 months ago, but maybe 9 months ago, had folks from the state down to talk about the increasing incidence of PFAS in well water in the southeastern part of Shaftsbury. So this is basically newer discoveries of PFAS when the 10 years ago when the first round of testing was done, they had looked and really not found anything in Shaftsbury, or at least in that part of Shaftsbury. And then that began to change, and a number of homes have received a treatment system so that they're having their water treated. What's happened over the course of the last 9 months or so is that the state has adopted a new threshold for eligibility, basically a new threshold for what is acceptable in groundwater. It matches what's acceptable in drinking water systems. And that number is basically 4 parts per trillion for the most common PFAS substances. It had been 20. So now, if you have your well tested and find that there are 16, for example, somewhere between 4 and 20 parts per trillion of these PFAS, you'll now be eligible for a water treatment system, whereas you wouldn't have been recently. So that's gone through a rulemaking process. It's in effect now. I checked in with the state, and this morning heard that they will shortly be in touch with residents who have previously been tested and weren't eligible, but will be now.
Well,
The second question I had is, if you haven't been tested, what's the process going to be? And I'm still waiting for a clear answer on that, because there may be folks who are neighbors or weren't aware, although there's been a great deal of, I would say, new awareness thanks to a group of people in that part of town who have been going door to door and checking in and seeing, have you had your well tested, for example. So if anybody has a question about that, they can certainly reach out to me. I'm trying to get, as I said, more information on both the timing and then when and if people who haven't been tested will be able to be tested. The state is able to fund this money, or able to fund these systems at the moment with existing funds that were collected from Saint-Gobain, the polluter, or the alleged polluter. And the state is continuing to negotiate through the Attorney General's office now that there have been new areas that have been identified, to try and get more funding. Mm-hmm. So that's an update on that. Happy to answer questions if you have any. While I've got the floor, I'll just quickly say I wanted to say thank you to the highway crew for keeping the sidewalk clear on Church Street. Going down Shop Hill, there's a narrow spot between a utility pole and a retaining wall that I think has been difficult to get that sidewalk tractor through that you were talking about a few minutes ago in the warrants. And there'd be a big snowbank piled up there for much of the winter. I use that sidewalk, so I know that if you have to step off at that point, the visibility can be a little bit low and a little dangerous for pedestrians. So I was glad to see that had been cleared recently, and hope that that can continue to be the case.
that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell you everything that's going on in Montpelier, but won't take your time tonight. I'll have an update at town meeting. I will just say, just because more so than education, healthcare, cost of housing, the thing that I hear most about these days is ICE and what's happening at the national level, and concerns about that happening in Vermont, or what the state can do. It's very much on the minds of everybody in Montpelier, including the governor, who put out an announcement a week ago. One of the very few elected Republicans, high-level Republicans in the country, who basically been willing to do this, and I applaud him for that. The legislature, in fact, passed its own resolution this past week, basically agreeing with the governor and noting what he had said and thanking him for that. So I was pleased to support that. Didn't get unanimous support, but I think every Democrat in the House supported it. So we have bipartisan with the governor and the legislature. It was put forward by an independent. It wasn't a partisan resolution at all. I will say ICE already is in Vermont. I think we know that there have been ICE arrests, if that's the right word, in as locally as Manchester, further north in the dairy community. What I'm hearing is that from our federal delegation is that we shouldn't be surprised if there's a stronger enforcement action coming at some point, perhaps based in Burlington, but maybe in other communities where, like ours or like Bennington County, where there are lots of people who are recent immigrants too.
Yeah. Certainly something to consider. Yeah, I know that there have been appointments made in Burlington, I think like 12 agents already and that are funded. Okay. Well, I have a question about the water.
Yes, please.
Not a question necessarily, but a comment, and we keep bringing it up too. But I keep wondering, we know what regions are affected, but we keep bringing it up with the Department of Environmental Conservation, so when you're talking to them as well, about maybe expanding testing and testing some one-off wells further north than they think, and kind of trying to expand the scope, not because we don't really know.
Right.
And I think that's like one of the biggest concerns. Like I'm on well water. The large majority of the town is on well water. And just because we've identified this one area, obviously doesn't mean that it's not elsewhere, and the nature of the contaminant really. So just bringing it up again.
Yeah, but
and again and again.
It's definitely good to keep saying that out loud. I know that the area in southeast Shaftsbury that was identified was basically because of a random test done maybe close to 3 years ago now. They were testing, I think, across the state 400 or 500, and one of them just happened to be there. It wasn't because of our past history in North Bend.
That's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, but I think there's definitely concern that if it's spread there, it may be spreading
elsewhere.
other directions too.
And we've said, and I'll use this moment too to say, we've asked that if private citizens do have their wells tested, to please send, the results of that to the town administrator, because we're trying to because I know that private citizens are having their wells tested, so I'll just take this moment where I have the floor to say, please send us your test results, because we'll try to forward those along to the Department of Environmental Conservation as well, and keep them on file as we continue on what will be a very long journey.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. All right, still public comments. Please join us.
Can I ask a public question instead?
Yes.
Thank you for letting me speak today.
Of course.
I am Kate speaking. Hello.
Hello.
So I had a couple of questions, and I just wanted to make sure that I understand a few things correctly. So the first one is, are we requiring people to log in moving forward for the virtual meetings?
Yes.
Is there going to be a telephone option for people who don't have a phone?
There always is.
Yeah,
There is.
There is.
Yeah,
Okay,
there is.
So they don't. Okay, so people can still call in via
Yes.
Yeah.
old school. telephone.
Anyway.
Awesome. Okay, I just want to make sure. I understand.
Yeah, it's at the bottom of every agenda.
Okay.
on the- yeah,
I was
it's
a
on the
bit
agenda.
confused because the phone number doesn't look like an actual phone number.
Oh, no, but it is, yeah.
Okay.
I've called into it, so I know.
Fabulous. So cool. The only other thing that I had is, and this is probably just me, I'm probably not looking in the right spot, but is there a place where I can find all the PDFs for this really easily? They're wonderfully organized, but do we have to call, where do we put our recordings?
The video recordings?
Yeah.
They're on the website.
They
as well.
have to be on there for the 30
Really?
days past for each meeting
Okay.
on the website, yeah.
Where I couldn't,
Like
I had
for-
some trouble finding.
So if you go
For
to,
each committee or board, they're on the board page.
yeah, you can like click on it. Like, let's say that we go to like the Economic Development Committee page, and then there will be, sometimes it says archive, and then you click on that.
Yeah,
and then
it's like,
older
because
ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
for each year,
in the
those are the current meetings in the archive. If you click view archive.
Yeah, since we just
meetings.
turned over years, everything will be
Yeah.
in the archive for 2025.
okay.
And they're there for
Yeah.
every year that this has been in the practice.
But the videos that we can't show every video, and by law, we only have to show 30 days worth.
Well, yeah, I remember it's like video or audio, so I just was trying to figure out where I could go for those.
that's where it
It's
is,
just
yeah.
easier to listen rather than read through the PDFs, so thank you. And then the only other question I had was, has there been any further consideration on the volunteer IP waiver?
Yes, there's been, so we're not we haven't really made any changes yet. We sent it to our town attorney.
Who said the form was fine?
Who said that the form is legally fine. And there is the possibility that we'll discuss it further, but we have not done so yet. So we did the first step, which is the town attorney reviewed it.
Thank you.
So,
Appreciate it. Thank you.
yeah.
Thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah, I didn't want to be a stick in the mud about it, but thank you for
Thank you.
considering it and doing that. I really appreciate it. But that's all I had. Thanks.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, and if anybody ever has questions about how to access anything that they would want to, whether it's like, hey, is there a phone number for this meeting? Or, I can't find this link, can you help me? Jen will help you find literally anything.
Call me.
You can call her, you can email her, she's very responsive, and she will help you figure out whatever that thing is.
Absolutely.
As somebody who, loves to get locked out of their email.
Now I know who's fun.
Yeah, so. All right. Any further public comments this evening? A full house. Okay. So, item 7, treasurer's report. Would you like to join us?
Sure. Was there a public?
Well, did I miss
No,
one?
no, no.
Okay.
My mistake.
I was looking. I think I.
Okay.
Thank you for checking.
Yeah, sure. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Let's see, why don't we start with the show and tell? We had talked about putting tax bills online.
Oh, yeah.
And we can do that tomorrow, but there was a question about what they're going to look like and what does it mean that they're redacted. So I just brought you one. I was having trouble scanning, so I thought it might be easier for you to look at your own anyway. This is a tax bill of a property that has recently actually been sold. So when I redacted out, I was redacting out the name of the previous owner. But so you can see if you look at it, this is the part that is missing down here. The state payment is redacted and the net tax is redacted. That means you cannot infer income from the tax bill that will be posted on the website. But you can see the assessed value. That's very important to realtors. A description of the property, land and building, the amount of acreage, things like that will be available mostly for realtors. But also what's in this box here, you all probably know if you do your own taxes, that's what's necessary for filing your homestead declaration. So this little box is important to tax preparers, and a lot of other stuff is important for realtors. But there is no non-private information on the bill as that you're looking at. Okay? So we had talked about putting this whole file on the website the way we have listers cards and things on there now, just to help people when they're doing their taxes and they realize they didn't listen to me and they threw out their bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that we said we would revisit it, and maybe this is the time, maybe there could be somebody could make a proposal and you guys could vote on it. I don't think you really need to. I think that this is something I'm actually allowed to do.
Yeah, I think so too.
But there had been some, in the past, some worry that it made it too easy to look up your neighbor's house. But it is public information, actually. So should I just go ahead and do it, or do you want to
What do you all
weigh
think?
in?
I think we may as well vote on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to post the tax
A PDF
information
file of all,
on PDF minus the
yeah, a redacted
federal.
PDF of the entire grand list of tax bills.
Okay, I can second that.
As the geek, I just have a question.
Yep.
So this is going to be one massive file. How would you like it to be searchable for the public?
Yeah.
They're going to download 3,500 tax bills?
Yeah, I don't know how to do it with listers cards. Do you know?
Nimric does it. So, I mean, you're going to give me one PDF and let
Yeah, I
people
mean-
look up their tax bills?
Yeah, I mean, it's, yeah, I mean, you can do it by either parcel ID or, I mean, just Control F, it's actually pretty easy.
Yeah, searchable PDF would be,
Yeah, so just make it a searchable PDF
Yeah,
by
I think so.
parcel
Parcel
ID.
number, or you could do it by last name.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
I mean, I use it all the time, and it's very
Yeah,
searchable, so,
okay.
as long as the
But I
version
just
that
have
I
to tell
use.
them how to do it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
and if it's too large of an undertaking, it can also happen over time. but.
No, I can do it. I'll be done by tomorrow.
All right, I was gonna say, I feel like you're really fast. I was kind of surprised. I was like, I feel like this is your thing.
Usually, when I ask Joe to do something, it's done before I even press send on the email. So that's what I'm expecting that look.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll talk about it.
So who moved?
I did.
Who seconded?
I think I did.
All in favor? Aye. Okay.
Cool. Well, so I would like to get that up tomorrow because I'm getting constant calls from the people who say, I'm doing my taxes and I threw up my bill even though you told me not to. Okay, so let's look at the cash flow. We could do that one first, actually. That's our cash. We looked at that very recently. There's no new information on here. So that you can see that the big number at the top is the money in the cash, in the checking account, that first general fund number. But from that, you subtract 862. That leaves us with less than $600,000 of cash to get us through the rest of this fiscal year. Which is a little scary. And then you could see I say the same thing every time. The listers has a big chunk of money in there, and the fire department, but those are earmarked, and the fire department is going to go to a truck pretty soon, and the listers is being spent down every month with because of the reassessment that's going on. So that cushion that we have there is not going to be around forever.
Okay.
Any questions about any of that?
No.
Okay, so let's look at the other one, the cash flow. And again, we have looked at most of this. The big number there is that highway grant that came in. We saw that last time, but that's the big number on there in the revenue side. And the highway state aid as well. That's the quarterly payments that we get from the highway, from Vermont for the highway upkeep. Big number for delinquent tax. We knew that was going to come in because Holly had a little bit of a backlog for a while. So water receipts, we talked about it before, a little bit more has come in. If we look at the bottom half here. So that cash number's a little different from the NEMRIC number, which I use on the other report. That's because of timing issues with when checks are written and when they're cashed and things like that. So at the bottom, I've got the budget status. I'm comparing, you see I highlighted it. We're comparing it to 23 because I'm comparing it now to 23 because that's the last normal year. There have been so many strange things with unexpected or unbudgeted, both revenue and expenditures, that I thought it would be more useful to look at a normal year. I mean, even this year we've got the revenues and expenditures both have that big highway grant money in it that's sort of distorting things. But so we are spending ahead of budget, which I've said a couple of times, more than we should have at this point. I then got some breaking news for you that we're having kind of a tough winter.
Yeah. It's a lot of sand and salt.
Yeah, and heating fuel. Yeah, so we're really burning through the budget for those things. And I took a look at where the variances are, and that's where a lot of it is. It's, and I mean, it's not news to you. You sign the warrants every month or twice a month, so you know. But yeah, so that's just life. I think that's all I've got. Do you have any questions about anything I've said?
I don't.
No.
Okay, quick shout out to my mom who is turning 100 in tomorrow.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah. I'm not supposed to say that. But I just did.
That's very exciting.
So you're allowed to say happy birthday if you see my mom.
Wow.
Okay, good, no questions.
No questions.
Cool, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Following the treasurer's report, we're going to move on to item 8, which is the DPW report. Paula, do you have any updates from Mike on this?
Mike says maintaining the trucks constantly because this winter's being really rough on them.
Yeah, I bet it's brutal.
See all the parts and the upkeep. So
Yeah.
that's what, because they get involved in a project and another storm comes and then
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
how it goes. That's how this winter's going anyway.
it sure is.
That's
Okay.
what we're doing.
That sounds about right. All right, so we'll move on to item 9, which is an appointment to the Recreation Committee of Kate O'Klein. Should we have her join us at the table? All right. Come on up. What did you say? Oh, wait, I'm wrong. Actually, will you come up too? Okay, so we're gonna have Dina join you at the table as well.
Okay. I'm going to stand.
She's gonna stand.
I'm going to stand, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
My rotten back. Okay. I'm Dina Ruge, and I am the chairperson of the Recreation Committee. We meet on the fourth Friday of every month at 10 o'clock in the morning in Cole Hall. And this last Friday, we had Kate O'Klein join us, and she was interested in joining our committee. And we were thrilled to death.
Yeah.
She's active in a lot of different organizations and places in Bennington, and we think that she would be a really good asset to our group.
Awesome.
And while I have your attention,
Little plug.
we are sponsoring another Moonlight Walk at Howard Park.
This is for that TV.
We have some extra posters, so if anybody would like to take a poster to put up in their area of employment, or if you know of an area where there are going to be a lot of Shaftsbury folks that are going to be meeting, it would be lovely. Because last year when we did this, we had a really nice turnout and a great time.
That's awesome.
Yep. So it will be on March 3rd, and it'll be a full moon, and hence the Moonlight Walk. And I hope everybody shows up.
It's lovely. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's great.
Thank you.
And this is Kate.
All right. So Kate, while we have you here, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I know some of
why
you-
you're interested
And why you're
this
interested in the committee.
Some other fun committee.
Like she was saying, I'm
Seems
very
that
involved
way,
in
yes.
Bennington. I'm a Dawson at the Visitor Center at Better Bennington. So we do all the events on Mayfest and Harvest Fest. I go to church on Main Street, so I'm very involved on Main Street. Retired teacher from Sunderland, but worked at the middle school on Main Street for several years. And I just feel like it's time for me to get more involved in Shaftsbury. I used to sub in Shaftsbury quite a few years before I taught in Sunderland. And so I know quite a few people around the table. Been here for 56 years and thought it was time for me to get onto a committee. And the Recreation Committee seemed to be a fun one. So I have to warn you, I'm a snowbird. Not usually here this time of year. However, I'm having an operation. I have to be at the hospital at 5:45 tomorrow.
Oh my goodness.
Because I'm having an operation tomorrow, and that's why I'm here. Usually in Virginia. I go back and forth. But I have children down there and 3 grandchildren. But I love Vermont, so I'm here half year and down there half year. So I will Zoom, and I will stay as involved
Perfect.
as I can in the Recreation Committee.
That's great.
So that's me.
Awesome. Does anybody have any questions?
No, good addition. Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, seems great. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to scoot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I have a lot
Well, right
to do
before you
for the
do,
operation.
right before you scoot, we're going to call for a motion to appoint you to the Recreation Committee. So I'd call for a motion to appoint Kate O'Klein to the Recreation Committee.
I will make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. All right. Thank you.
Zoe.
Yes.
Good luck.
The package.
Oh, wait, Kate, before you leave.
Yes.
Sorry. Jen put this together for you. It has information about your town email account and a few other things. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to her directly.
So if there's any time I have to be back here, probably won't be for...
Oh, you don't have to, yeah. We'll
There's
figure it all
two
out.
things you need to do in there, but it's you having an operation that's more important.
Yeah, we're not worried about it. That's just for you to
I can't
have.
drive for 4 weeks.
Oh my
geez.
goodness.
I might last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you so much. Yeah, good luck. All right. Item 10 is a apartheid-free community presentation by Richard Jorgensen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Kate.
Good luck, Kate.
Here's one of these for each of you. And I know you all have a PowerPoint presentation as well, and I just want to call out that for, you don't? No. Okay, you're not going to do the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, never mind. Okay, I was going to say usually for PowerPoints we're saying 15 to 20 minutes, but if you're not showing it, then that's great. I've looked at it.
They're not showing the power.
Okay.
We were ready.
I do have another handout, and I'll circulate that. There's 7, so I think my count is correct for everyone at the table. And additional brochures for anyone who does not have one. Jen? One for Jen.
Thank you.
So this is Rich, and I'm Rich Jorgensen, and I'm Grace Winslow.
Okay.
Shaftsbury. So we brought a contingent with us.
Yeah, I will read off the names of our fellow Shaftsbury residents who are here tonight as well. Aaron Labovitz, Rachel Olmsted, Darcy Anderson, Mary Hazelton, Naomi Beinman, Kui Kenyon, Tess Clary, and Linda Marsha. And this is for the minutes. Everyone's name. Okay. So to begin, thank you for your time tonight, including us on the agenda. We're here to speak about the apartheid-free community movement. The movement is intended to grow awareness and have communities, churches, and organizations act against apartheid in Israel. This is a statewide, national, and international movement. Last year, 5 Vermont communities did so. This year, 20 Vermont communities are seeking to become apartheid-free communities. We are here to make Shaftsbury an apartheid-free community as well.
Essentially, the focus is on the mistreatment of the millions of Palestinians living in Gaza and the West Bank. Mistreatment in many ways that has been defined as criminal, with apartheid considered a crime against humanity. The UN, Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, and B'Tselem, Israel's human rights group, all have concluded that policies and practices put in place by Israeli governments over many years constitute apartheid.
Apartheid in Israel includes harassment, imprisonment, displacement, destruction of homes, restriction of movement, restricting access to medical care, limiting access to clean water, and destruction of crops, and deaths that result from any of these. It is seen as a root cause of the genocide in Gaza.
For more than 50 years, the United States has provided the primary and essential support for these crimes. Israeli apartheid and genocide against Palestinians cannot be sustained without the support of our tax dollars, elected officials, and our weapons. Because of this, we have the critical opportunity and responsibility to end our complicity with Israel's regime and crimes.
So tonight we are asking you to adopt the Apartheid-Free Community Pledge and making Shaftsbury an apartheid-free community. Doing so shows the commitment and belief that all people are equal and should be free and treated with dignity and respect. Adoption would be non-binding. It will not create any legal or fiduciary obligations for the town of Shaftsbury. However, the next step will be to identify and implement measures that fulfill the Apartheid-Free Community Pledge to end all support to Israel's apartheid regime. Banking and investments and equipment purchases are first places to look for any connection with Israel's apartheid regime. From our group, would anyone else like to add to what we've shared with the board? Naomi?
Can I just do it from here?
Yes.
Yeah, I would just like to speak sort of from a personal place as a person of Jewish heritage. because so often in this conversation, Israel gets conflated with Judaism, which is not true. And there are many Jewish people in Israel who don't support the genocide, and there are many Jewish people in our nation who don't support this genocide. So I'm obviously in favor of this pledge. However, even though I was raised in a family that was not observant, not religious, sort of maybe by osmosis, support of Israel as sort of this safe haven kind of seeped into my consciousness. And so I always sort of had this sort of soft spot in my heart for Israel. Never really spent time going into learning about what's really going on. That shifted after October 7th and this new phase of genocide. I mean, it's been ongoing, but it's, now so explicit and so unavoidable. And then I saw the movie No Other Land, and that's a movie I recommended to anybody who hasn't seen it. It's not about the current situation. It was about the settlers in the Israeli ongoing settler movement in the West Bank, displacing families, and it ends at October 7th, 2023. For myself, watching it was just an excruciating experience. To see the trucks and the soldiers with Stars of David acting like Nazis was horrifying. So I wrote a poem which I'd like to share. If that's okay. Hearing no objection.
No objection.
This is called Milk and Honey. We were offered promised land, coming home, birthright, sanctuary, milk and honey. We were fed dance and song, sweetness of freedom and sun shining, fine white sands, candles and communes, olives and dates, turquoise waters, red and purple flowers blossoming in peace. We were taught miracles of light, bread baked on backs, firstborn blood, memories of enslavement, never oppressors, ram's horn resonance repairing the world. It can never happen again. We were assured we will never let it happen again. We were told, while inconvenient bulldozers bearing our names crushed homes to rubble, family by family torn, roofs from schools, although tanks rolled over ancient soil, swath of death from river to sea, settlers, occupation, demolition, such bland, vacuous words. The desert bloomed, we were promised, not watered with blood shed by ancestral family, barbed wired apart by our people, now pharaohs, wounding lambs, building cages, spawning plagues, maiming babes, starving children like rats in the name of safety. Our people in green shirts, not brown, swastikas morphed now into stars. My people, eyes and cheeks and curls, my own, my family, perpetrators of daily evil doing in my name, again and again and again. What we claimed, we despised, we declared never again. Such annihilation, we believed meant anyone, everyone, forever, as we swallowed poison milk and honey blinds. And I just wanted to say that, even though that poem is speaking personally as a person of Jewish heritage, that is really in all of our name, because all of our money is going to support these atrocities.
Thank you.
Thank you, Naomi. So that's what we have for the board. Maybe a lot to ask on short notice. But this is something that is being viewed as a local issue here in Vermont. That's why we brought it here to Shaftsbury. It's being brought to North Bennington and, as mentioned, 20 other communities throughout the state. It's happening nationally, internationally, and we pay for it. We pay for it. In 2024, over 27 million Vermont tax dollars went to the war. That includes Gaza and the West Bank. And Shaftsbury's share in 2024 was approximately $215,000. So a pretty significant amount of money. And on a regular year-in and year-out basis, the United States is contributing under a memorandum of understanding to support the Israeli military and government, the single largest country that receives military aid from the United States. So it affects us locally, economically, but as humans, we're affected by the inhumanity, these crimes against humanity that are endured by Palestinian people. So thank you for your time, and we'll leave you at that.
I'd like to ask something. If you could talk a little bit more about what the specific actions you're recommending municipalities take.
Correct. So what's occurring in other communities here in Vermont and elsewhere, and for that matter, organizations, unions, state governments, they're looking at how they're investing municipal tax dollars, their banking, investments, purchases. A big one for local communities is equipment purchases.
Yeah, I'd imagine all the construction, because CAT is like, yeah.
But Caterpillar Corporation is one of the largest suppliers of equipment to Israel. When you see images in the paper on TV of those big pieces of equipment, they're made here in the United States of America. So Caterpillar is a major supplier. So on a local level, it's looking at, well, what do we buy to care for our roads so well? If it's a Caterpillar product, maybe we look for another company that can provide the product that's needed. So that's where municipalities are looking, first of all. To the extent that we bank or invest our monies, we'd look at what banks we're investing in, where our money is. One very large bank that's very culpable is Citibank, City Corporation, and there are others. So that's how we start.
Thank you.
That's how we start. The disinvestment is seen as an economic tool to try to make change happen, much as occurred in South Africa with apartheid that existed there, and that ultimately ended about 30 years ago.
Understood. Well, I want to thank you all for coming this evening, and while I don't think that we're going to take any action at this immediate moment, because I think we all need to kind of just talk more. What we thought about immediately upon receiving this, and all of us hadn't had a ton of time to digest, although very good PowerPoint, by the way. There's some good slides on there. Like, I will say that the compare contrast between like Hannah born here and so-and-so born here, this was very useful to me as somebody like who knows a good amount about this, but that was like very line by line. That was like, can I drive from here to here? I found that very useful, so good PowerPoint. But I will say that what we came to already is that the first thing that we would like to do as a town is issue a human rights statement in general. We realize that that's a thing that we don't have right now, that we have sort of a inclusion policy, and we have a
Protection of democracy.
protection, yeah, like due process, but nothing in particular that really encompasses this, and we'd really like to get something like that, issued by the town. And then this is something that maybe we can further discuss as a group. But do you have questions?
I do have questions.
Yeah.
So, I appreciate you bringing this to the board. And so my question would be, why not bring this to the floor vote at the town meeting that will happen?
Oh, yeah.
So that the larger community can have say in it, but also that
actually might be even more appropriate.
More appropriate venue, or
then you're getting the individuals as opposed to 5 people.
Speed the process forward.
I think that is actually a very good idea.
That is something that we'll do. That is something that we'll do.
That is your prerogative to do, so...
That is something that we will do. At this point in time, we will do that. We'd also like to have, we also would have liked to have had you guys vote on it tonight as a non-binding opportunity. And non-binding opportunity is, it's as stated, non-binding. And often when I talk to people about boycott and divest and sanctioning, I say it's something, when you start boycotting and sanctioning, it's something you don't have to do like everything all at once. It feels really overwhelming to say boycott because you think, oh, I've got to boycott everything. No, you just do it.
Just stop going to Starbucks, yeah.
Yes, just stop. Don't go to Starbucks. Don't buy Burger King. Stop going to Burger King. You do things little by little, and then you realize, oh, okay, well, this week I'm not going to do that. Next week I'm not going to do this. And I'll stop buying that product in a month. It's little bites. It's not once. If you stop doing one thing today, and then maybe something else next week, but stop gradually. If we don't start stopping today, well, when are you going to do it? Because then we just continue doing the same thing. And what are you doing? You're supporting apartheid. A non-binding vote is a non-binding vote. If you don't want to do a non-binding vote, what is the opposite of that? You continue to support an apartheid Israeli regime. So we will take it to the floor. But you could also do non-binding vote day.
Or at our next meeting.
Or at the next meeting, yes.
Because it can't go into the warning for on our behalf for the town meeting anymore anyway.
Right, because that's done.
Yeah.
So, if I could have another minute or less, actually, as a longtime resident and having attended meetings here now and again over the last few years, I'd like to use the opportunity to thank Tony and Brad, Peer Service to the town, and living in Shaftsbury is an honor and a privilege. It's a community that my wife and I sought out when we were looking to establish our family, and we're very glad to be here for many, many reasons. And the road maintenance is tremendous.
Thanks to you.
I know that's a big concern this winter. I get to wait to Mike or one of the crew almost every morning when they're going by. And I've spoken and written about how we have a great staff here, keeping our town safe.
So true.
And thanks to all of you on the board.
Thank you.
Paula, Jen.
Thank you very much.
And have a good night.
Thank you. Okay.
Can I say something?
You can say anything.
Okay. I don't, I think, well, as the other Naomi said so much more eloquently than I, if you are, as I am along with her, a person from a Jewish tradition that values, above all else, tikkun olam, the responsibility as Jews to repair the world, not to destroy it, it is really unbearable to watch this being done in my name. And so for me, this is actually a very powerful thing that I would like to vote for as an individual, but I also feel strongly that this kind of thing is most powerful when a board votes unanimously for it, and we haven't had a chance really, because there's been a few other things like vicious dog hearings and stuff. We haven't had a chance to give it enough time to speak together. And I do think it ought to be processed together. There's been a lot of absences, there's been a lot of illness, there's just been reasons why we can't. I haven't even had a chance to speak individually to my fellow board members about it. So, just want to say that.
Thank you. Next up is the discussion of the demolition of the Stanley Tools building. Am I leading that discussion? Okay, I'm leading that discussion. So as many are probably aware, the Stanley Tools building is going to be demolished, and there have been some questions about that. Things have moved along further. I have in front of me the land use permit, which was issued regarding the demolition. So the permit specifically authorizes the demolition of a 15,647 square foot of a deteriorating building, removal of concrete foundation, restoration of the area, reconstruction of the culvert located under the existing building, and reconstruction of the wall between the remaining building and the structure proposed for demolition, located at 372 Vermont Route 6070. So this is something that we've been aware of. We are parties to this land use permit. The town clerk, Marlene Hall, receives all of the notices as this case has moved along, as has Naomi Miller. At the time that this was sort of beginning, I wouldn't say beginning, but really beginning for all purposes, Naomi was the chair. This was never really something that we were able to weigh in on because this goes above us to the Department of Environmental Conservation. There's a waterway that runs through this structure. So basically any construction here it goes right above us and right to the state. Wherever water's involved, it goes to the state, as I'm sure every Vermonter is well aware. Every time that I'm like, man, I wish my pond was different. Can't touch it. So we are super aware of this, and one of the things that we've discussed and that we've been able to negotiate with the contractors who are handling that demolition is we're going to try to make a monument to Eagle Square and to Stanley Tools. We're not 100% sure what that looks like at this time, but we've been making arrangements to try to procure some of the original stone. That building is very beautiful. It's too bad that it was let to fall into the state of disuse by a private citizen who owns it, that it did. And so at this point, we're sort of excited about that possibility. It's unclear what that would look like. Sometimes people talk about a little, we had the Historical Society come in and talk about these 40,000-pound machines that they would like to get moved to other places. They've done a lot of work as well to try to rehouse some of this old, sort of like very cool machinery. And there have been a couple of like museums and different places that have had some interest in that, but you can imagine it's hard to move something that weighs 40,000 pounds. So that's interesting to hear about as well, but out of my hands, thankfully. But yeah, so it is a serious thing, and as we become more aware of what's happening, we'll continue to issue announcements and updates. If you take a look at sort of the minutes from summer, we talked about it several times. We had it on the agenda a couple times, and people came in and said, sort of what Eagle Square has meant to them, what has meant to Shaftsbury, which is kind of a tremendous thing, what it has meant. And as the daughter of a carpenter, it's very cool that there's one of the first squares is from here. Allegedly the first type of this exact type of square. Anyway, you all know that. So that's sort of where we are on that. I'm not sure if I missed anything. Did I miss anything? No. Okay. So there will probably you will start to see something happening there. but
I guess we're gonna call for public input into what that memorial to the
Yeah,
workers
that will
of
definitely
Eagle Square
happen.
should be like, right?
And it's possible that with the new space, just this is literally just me saying this right now. I have not thought about this. It's just coming out of my mouth, as is how most things happen for me. But it's possible that we could use some of those stones on the new structure, the new property over there. Maybe we could build a bench. I don't know. It seems like that could be very pretty. The stones are beautiful. And so these are sorts of considerations. And then maybe part of we could have a wall in the new building or like a section that has different things. We've already talked about sort of different things and people we'd like to memorialize in that space, Dr. King and Doctors King. And I think that that's certainly something that would also merit inclusion upon, a wall of this sort of space. That's an exciting thing about that structure. Because it's all on one floor and has these long halls, we are in an interesting position to be able to kind of create more of a narrative of the town in a way that I don't think this structure necessarily lends itself to. That also I just realized. But that's pretty cool. So maybe that's something that we could do there.
Zoe, are we able to just ask a brief question?
You can, yes, anytime.
Okay, thank you. Hi, everybody. It's Andrea Bacchi. I'm wearing my hat because it's freezing. I have a question about, so the demolition, it just kind of dawned on me. There's a nonprofit in Shaftsbury called Reclaimed Materials Resource Management. I don't know if you've heard of it, but they essentially, it's owned by, the nonprofit, Marcus Jones is the president, and he's a Shaftsbury resident. What they do is they take materials from like demolished buildings or whatever and like repurpose them. Is that something that would be like a possibility, or is it not because it's the contractor is already kind of have their hands? Like, is that something that they can so that the materials don't like just go into the landfill, I guess is what I'm saying. Is that like something that can happen with this thing that is gonna occur, or is that kind of out of your hands, our hands?
It's kind of an interesting question. I think that, so this work is obviously being done by a private citizen who owns this structure, so anything they give us is at their sort of behest.
Of course.
But I think, could you tell me the name of it again one more time? Reclaimed?
Yeah, it's really amazing. It's called Reclaimed Materials Resource Management, and the acronym is RMRM, and it's based in Shaftsbury. It's a nonprofit, and I'm like really excited about the work they're doing myself, because knowing that they can like we can repurpose the materials and not, when we think about buildings that just get demolished, I'm not saying that private citizen is doing that and putting it in the landfill. I have no idea.
Oh, I mean, that's where it would go, yeah.
Conversation. What's that?
I think that that's a really interesting question, and I think that maybe Paula could reach out to them, because we have kind of talked to the owner of the building about this, like, in talking about getting some stones, and if that's something they would be interested in, I think that would be a really cool idea. And also maybe...
And that way, and then I think RMRM works with another, like partners with another organization or business. I think they're based in Brattleboro, and so what happens is, people like me and you and other citizens can like purchase the materials at a discounted rate and then reuse it, right? So it's like to me that sounds like a wonderful way of supporting community, supporting the environment, and just like it's like a circle that keeps going in a positive way.
Yeah, and supporting a local business. No,
so.
Totally. And also supporting a local business. I think that that's a great idea, and I think that Paula can reach out to them and see.
We'll get the contact.
Yeah, we'll get the contact info and get that information to them, and if that were to be a partnership that worked out, that would be beautiful. So thank you for bringing it up. And maybe we can even talk with them about if they could help us with some of the materials that we're going to get out of there, since they work in this type of salvage space. Yeah. So thank you for bringing that up. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That's really cool. Cool to know about. Item 12, discussion of date of next meeting.
I have a question on this.
Yes, sir.
The building's very old, right?
Yes, sir.
How much hazardous material is being built into that?
Well,
how?
A lot. I'm going to go with a lot, and I'm also going to go with, since the Department of Environmental Conservation is handling it, I'm pretty sure that they have like this. Just the permit, land use permit alone, is about 12 pages. But we do have more information on that in the case itself, which is online, which Marlene can definitely, or I can, or Paula can direct you to, because they do have remediation plans in place, especially considering that there's a waterway right there.
Why not take one of those 40,000-pound machine and just leave it there as a monument? Put your memorial around one of them.
Well, I mean, it's not town property.
Yeah, it's privately
Well, I
owned.
mean, ask them, so that place is closed, right?
Yes, sir.
But they're planning to repurpose it now. That's how I understand.
Yeah, I think that the reason that they're performing this demolition is that they have hopes of using the space in a different way. I think that this is part of a larger construction project. That's just my understanding from reading the case, which doesn't mean that it's going to happen, just like anything that's a proposed construction project, but I think that's what they say they're doing.
What, is Bernstein gone?
I think he's still the owner.
I still think, yeah, he's the
I mean,
owner. But you know,
it's no longer a working factory.
No, sir.
the case is really interesting to read because they also had to send it to the State Historical Preservation Department for review, and that review is really interesting. They walked through the whole building, and it was a very serious review. It's just interesting.
Yeah.
There's a huge water tank there. Seems like it'd be some use to the town somehow.
Yeah. Huh?
It's an idea.
Certainly is. And if you would like to give us land, it's fine by me. You know?
Take one of the machines in front of the new town hall.
Just no Dollar General.
No Dollar General. No Dollar General. We're all in agreement. Agreement. Is agreeance a word?
Power with the water underneath the building.
Yes, sir.
That be done again.
I think he can do, actually probably he can't do that, is my answer actually, because you're not allowed to do anything with water, as we touched on earlier. It's really hard to open a hydro plant now in Vermont, like it's almost impossible.
Just throwing a box of rocks.
Yeah, or out of my hands, above my pay grade. But yes, so that's sort of what's going on with Stanley Tools. And thank you for your thoughts, I appreciate it.
We should look into that.
Yeah. So the next item is a discussion of the date of our next select board meeting, because the next Monday, or the third Monday of the month, is the President's Day holiday. So I suppose it would be the following Tuesday. Does anybody? What is the date of that?
17th.
The 17th. So the next meeting of the Shaftsbury Select Board will take place on Monday, February 17th.
Tuesday.
Tuesday. February 17th at 6 p.m. at Cole Hall. Is that okay with you all? Okay. Is there other business?
I have another business.
All right.
One other business. So in Village Cemetery, there's an ongoing project, theoretically, of replacing the fence.
Oh, the fence, yeah.
There was a question of how much lead is in the fence.
Right.
So the Home Depot sample we took, not good results. So I got a professional sampling done and results. And the good news is the state, the EPA level defines lead-based paint as paint containing 0.5% or more lead. That fence only has 0.017%.
Oh,
so it's
wow.
way
Great.
below the EPA.
Great.
Can be safely removed.
Yeah.
Whoever removes it will have their own, these are the safety protocols we follow. So the next step will be, we have estimates from the companies. So I'm just telling everybody that
That's
there's
great.
lead, but not that much.
So we can begin to move forward when it warms up.
Yes.
On getting that.
Should the ground ever thaw.
And put a nice one in and put our best foot forward as people driving to town.
Okay. That's great news. That's been an ongoing kind of...
Very good news.
Fence falling down? You just don't like the way it looks.
It's falling down.
Yeah, it's falling down.
It's falling down because of delayed maintenance, like so much things happen in towns.
Delayed maintenance is why we're doing this.
Yeah,
This
the answer
exactly
is
why.
yes, yeah. So, and the cemetery has a fund for
we
this.
have the reserve
so.
fund for this very thing, so money's already there.
Okay, well, that's good news.
That's it.
Okay. Is there any other business this evening?
Nope.
Okay. Action items,
Can I say one thing?
Of course.
About other business?
Yes.
I just wanted to speak on, I am the chair of the Vermont State Rehabilitation Council, which partners with Higher Ability Vermont. Higher Ability Vermont is formerly vocational rehabilitation, which helps Vermonters that have disabilities find work, whether it's self-employment or it's working for an employer. And I just wanted to say that if anybody in the crowd or anybody knows anybody who has a disability and is seeking work, or they're seeking self-employment journeys, to reach out to Higher Ability Vermont. There is a branch in every county. There's one in Bennington at the state building, but higherabilityvt.org, I believe, is the, or it's .com, sorry, is the website. So I just wanted to kind of make that public announcement for anybody who is fighting challenges. And this also includes people that have addictions. So underneath the Vocational Rehabilitation Act, voc rehabs across the country are helping people with disabilities and addiction. So feel free to connect because the organization wants to help.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
No, thank you. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Very useful, yeah, to so many people. And that's great that that they're so inclusive. Okay. The action item, I will discuss this again amongst ourselves, I suppose. The apartheid-free community movement.
We'll think about it.
We'll think about it. And then is there, I think that's it.
Contact Marcus Jones.
Contact Marcus Jones, the reclamation.
In contact with people who are tearing the building down.
Thank you. That would be lovely.
Yeah, we'll contact Reclaim Materials, Resource Management, and we will stay abreast of the dog situation. Okay. Well, I'd call for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay.